Welcome to the next episode in the Arctic Shores series, and this is on how to practice Arctic Shores. Now, practice Arctic Shores is one of the most high leverage activities you can do in improving your scores. I just want to start off just by showing you a few things that I showed in my previous video analysing my reports, which is how much you can improve your scores just by practicing Arctic Shores. So the orange one is the first time I did Arctic Shores and the red one is the second, and you can just see through the practice I go from all the way down here to up here. You can see with here these metrics I'm improving them, and here improving from an average about 5 out of 10 to going up to higher numbers like 8 out of 10. So that's how important practice is. For Arctic Shores is a very high leverage task, and it's also more of a fun task. So if you know you need to do a bunch of things, you need to write your CV, write your cover letter, do an online course, and you don't feel up to it, you feel like procrastinating, this is a task that you can do instead. It's high leverage. It is going to help you in your application process because it can improve your scores like I've done here. And you want to be in the top sort of 10% of people in order to get through to the next round. So if you don't feel like doing any quote unquote proper work, then this is just some good practice that you can do. It's high leverage. It's going to help you in the application process, but it doesn't take too much of your brain. It's quite chill, it's quite calm. Okay, so without further ado, let me get into how we can practice for Arctic Shores. So I'm going to start off with the arrows and tickets game, and this is a game I've found which is basically very similar to the arrows and tickets game. So click on it here, and the way it works is you have to click between yellow or blue. So it's a similar sort of activity to both these arrows and tickets game, in the sense that you have to look at the screen, see something, and then click on it. So the way it works is if it's a color, you click the color. If it's an arrow, you click the way the arrow is pointing to, and if it's in the middle, you click the opposite to the color. So I'll just give you a practice round now so you can go onto this link and do it yourself. Yellow, so not yellow, not yellow, this side, blue, right side, not blue, blue side, not yellow, left side, left side, etc. And basically if you do too long, it's going to pop off and disappear, right? So it doesn't give you too long to do it, and if you miss, then you're out. So it's a good simulation of the arrows and tickets games. That's a good one you can practice. Just do that for 10 minutes. Even do that the morning before you do your Arctic Shores, just to give you a warm up and get your mind ready for that sort of reaction based activity. Now next one's the memory game, and this memory game definitely recommend a lot of practice because you want to be getting to high numbers like 7, 8, 9 and 10, and you're going to need practice. You're not going to be able to do that the first time. So let's click on this, and there's basically a few of these games you can do: sequence memory, chimp test, verbal memory, number memory, visual memory, all that sort of stuff, and that will basically help you practice this. This is how it's going to work. You're going to get a thing and then you have to do it. The only thing with this game is it ends up doing the same pattern and you just have to remember more things, whereas with Arctic Shores it's a different pattern. Oh, I pressed the wrong one, but you see. So that's how that can help. Chimp test is very similar. Then there's number memory, which although this isn't exactly what you're doing, it's very similar. And then another one I just wanted to highlight was visual memory. This is a good one. This will help. So these are all just good memory exercises that you can do. And yeah, this chimp test one's a good one as well. Remembering where the things are, and they all get blanked out, and it's get higher and higher numbers. So if you can end up getting to things like numbers like 8, 9 and 10 while doing this, then that's going to really help you basically when you come to do this memory test. So you can do it like that. So that's how to practice the memory game. Now moving on to the emotions game, this is a good link to check out, so I recommend you check out this website. It's got all sorts of information that's going to help you with the emotions, because it is the 7 universe. Is it 7? How many emotions do we have? 7 universal facial expressions. That's what I'm looking for. 7. So it's 5 core emotions, but this one's about emotion recognition. And when a face pops up on the screen, it's the 7 universal facial expressions. So I've taken these images from here, and if you're not sure on your emotions, most likely everyone probably is, sort of a human natural thing, but maybe you don't know it consciously. So I'll just go through just in case. So you can see the face of anger here, and it's where you have your eyebrows up, your eyes open, lips pressed together. Face contempt, it's the only unilateral, so that means where your mouth isn't like straight, it's doing different things on different side, so it's just where it's tightened and it's slightly raised. Disgust, lowered eyebrows this time. There's a wrinkling, your upper lips in an inverted U, and then the lower lips protruding. Happiness is just, it's just smiling, isn't it? So cheeks are raised, your lips are pulled back, and you see your teeth, the eyes are narrows, wrinkling around the eyes. Face of fear, eyebrows up and together, raised upper eyelids, tense lower eyelids, jaw dropped open, and lips stretched horizontally backwards. Sadness, inner corners of eyebrows up and together, upper eyelids drooped, eyes looking down, lips corner pulled downwards. And finally, surprise, eyebrows raised and drawn together, upper eyelids raised, lower eyelids neutral, jaw dropped down. There's also a neutral face they're going to throw in there as well. So I just wanted to show these to you, just because I want you to notice the small differences that they have, because it's easy to mistake surprise with fear, or anger with disgust, that sort of thing. So if you look at them, you'll be able to just notice a few differences. So for example, with anger and disgust, if I just get them there, anger's up here, disgust is here, you can see that they both have lowered eyebrows effectively. However, with disgust, you can see that your mouth is open, whereas with anger, lips are pressed together. So it's small differences like this you want to try and notice. So fear, you can see that eyebrows are raised, so fear and sadness both have the same eyebrows, more or less. However, with this, you have upper eyelids drooped, and with this, you have upper eyelids raised, right? So you can see there's just small differences between these. Same with surprise. Surprise, you both have eyebrows raised, however, with fear, they're pulled together, and with surprise, they're not pulled together. So if you want just a bit of revision on the emotions, just have a look at this and basically look for those little differences. So maybe they have similar eyebrows, they're both raised, but are they drawn together or not? And that will help you distinguish basically between the emotions. Now let's move on to the sales game. How can you practice the sales game? So the first thing I say is just recap the strategy discussed in this video. You can click play straight there, and it'll go to this highlight section. It's just 50 seconds where I summarize the strategy which you want to do. Some of you might have actually seen this link before. My strategy is to do with a split and steal sort of thing, and some of you might have done this in school at some point. It's called The Evolution of Trust, and basically goes through a bunch of games, and it has a similar thing to split or steal, which is the analogy that I use to sort of explain the sales game, in the fact that it's similar to split or steal, except with the sales game it's cheat or cooperate. So you can choose cheat, and then it goes through the probabilities and explains, you see here, you should still cheat, and that's basically what I was saying, that in split or steal you want to cheat every time, and then it does all sorts of things. So if you just want to, again, if you know you want to be doing some work on your application but you don't feel like doing your CV or cover letter or something demanding like that, just have a go on this, and it will help your understanding of trust and split and steal and all those sorts of things, so that you're going to be better for when the sales game comes around. There's 2 split or steal videos here. I recommend you watch them because they're quite interesting if you just want some extra watching. And then the final thing with the sales game is I've equated it to the sales game. I've equated it to split or steal, but it's also similar to something called the prisoner's dilemma. So you can have a look at this Wikipedia page, learn about the prisoner's dilemma, maybe watch a few videos if you're interested. But the prisoner's dilemma is very similar to the sales game, so that's another thing to look into. More research. Now, balloons game and power generators game, there's not really a way to practice, and to be honest, you don't need to practice, so I wouldn't worry about it. Just make sure that you're clear on the strategy that you need to do, which is just be patient, try and be rational about it, work out how often the balloon's likely to pop, or work out which power generator gives you the best ROI. So that's fine. Just recap the strategy and that'll be enough practice. And now finally we get to the safe game, and this is quite difficult because it just speeds up, so you need to get your clicking on point basically. And these are just two games that might, if basically you've never done a clicking game like this before, then this might help. So like personally, I used to play loads of video games in the day, so back in the day, so this isn't too hard. But maybe someone's never done that and they have to do Arctic Shores. This is a good way basically of testing your reactions in a circle based situation. It's not exactly the same to how it works in the real Arctic Shores, but you can try and practice that, try and get 20, 30, 40, and then you're really on point with that. And then finally there's a similar one here, which is again just about getting your reactions practice on circle. This might be a good one to do the day before you do an Arctic Shores test, just to get you warmed up the morning before. And you basically just have to switch in between each one and don't die, and see how far you can get effectively like that. And you'll die if you end up doing that. So there's some practice resources that you can use for Arctic Shores. Practicing is something that's very difficult, because you can't just get an Arctic Shores out of nowhere. You can only get the ones that you get accepted to, and those are the real thing. So this is a good resource that you can go to potentially if you're procrastinating, you don't feel like doing some really difficult work like writing a CV. You can just kill a bit of time doing this, bit of fun, and it does help you. It's a high leverage task. It helps you get the job you want by improving your Arctic Shores, and you can see how much improvement you can get just from practice. So I hope this video has been helpful. If this has given you any value, then feel free to leave a like. This document is going to be linked in the description so you can get this resource and practice it yourself. Subscribe for more videos that are going to be coming up about application process, such as interviews and assessment centres. Hope this video has helped. Thanks very much.